Hi, Roger at Weathering Heights. This is the VELCO Weather Hazards update for the December 24th storm, 25th storm. This will be happening prior to Christmas Day. And we're starting out here on Sunday night with precipitable water being shown here. We have this big area of higher pressure that's going to be departing. It's going to open the door for a southerly flow and a lot of jet stream energy that will be coming in from the west coast, mostly across the southern areas of the Gulf coastal states, and then that jet stream energy will wind up and produce a couple areas of low pressure. Here's how the precipitable water forecast looks. This will be valid about 1 o'clock Tuesday afternoon. We're starting to see a little bit of a gradient with a little bit of a ridge poking down through parts of northern New England into Vermont, and a tightening pressure gradient here. We got some jet stream energy that'll be coming around the base of this trough, which is pretty strong aloft, and it'll spin up a secondary low in this vicinity here, and then this whole thing will evolve and tighten up pretty considerably. And as it does, we're looking at stronger and stronger winds, especially for the 24th. That would be valid 1 o'clock on Wednesday, Christmas Eve day, and that'll carry over into, it looks like, the evening hours before a frontal boundary works on in and we get dry slotted on Christmas Day. Now, it looks like as far as precipitation goes, this is going to be probably some form of a mix and then changing to rain as temperatures make a nice rise, at least into the mid-30s even on Wednesday, Christmas Eve day, but beyond that probably rising through the 30s and into the 40s, low and mid-40s for highs during Thursday, Christmas Day. Travel conditions will actually be pretty good at this point in time. We probably will see some winds coming in out of the west and northwest eventually, but it does not look to be as severe as the front part of the storm. This is the area we're going to have to watch very carefully. And a quick look at precipitation. We have that area of higher pressure again departing. This is valid Monday night into Tuesday morning. And the lead-in of the first surge of precipitation works in fairly light. We're talking under 1,500ths of an inch of precip. And then it does pick up off to the west of us, mostly in the Champlain Valley region. This will probably evolve and change over time, but we're not looking at a very much in terms of precipitation on the front end of the storm. Now, as we get into Tuesday night and Wednesday morning, pressure gradient starts to tighten up. The jet stream energy will have come back around. It'll start to develop another area of low pressure along this frontal boundary, which will then work its way north and west and tighten the pressure gradient up. You can see the baggy trough right there and the frontal boundary right there. So some precipitation will be working in through, looks like Wednesday evening, and then we get dry slotted during Christmas Day, probably the best day for travel. By that point in time, we will have some fairly strong winds. It looks like about a maybe 6 to 12 hour period of downsloping winds, primarily the western slopes of the Green Mountains, but it could affect a lot of the higher elevations. Wind gusts could exceed 50 miles per hour in a few spots. This looks like a moderate event, not a extremely significant event in terms of wind, but something we'll definitely have to watch, and there'll be more updates as time goes on. Roger Hill, Weathering Heights Consulting.